Today I thought I'd share with you guys my pen collection. This is the entirety of my collection in these jars and the surrounding little areas. As we review the pens, I'm going to try them out in one of two types of paper. For those of you who have seen other videos on my channel, you should be familiar with this guy. It's my bullet journal. And I've also had a video on this planner, which is the Inkwell Press Planner. And I stopped using this planner a few months ago, but I love the quality of paper in this planner, and you can pretty much use any pen whatsoever on it. So I'm going back and forth. We'll try to see how the pens look on both of the planners. All right, so to get started, these are my Pilot G2 pens, and I have quite a few of them, so let's go ahead and spill out my jar. Some of these jars are going to have different types of pens in them, and some of them will have a ton of repeats. Oh, that guy is in the wrong place. Okay, so this has some friction highlighters, which I'm going to be reviewing in one of my upcoming videos where I'll go through my marker and highlighter collection. But today I'm just focusing solely on pens. So these are Pilot G2s, as I said. The thickness ranges from, I believe, 0.5 to actually all of mine are 0.7 as I'm looking at them. So the backstory on these pens as I arrange them, because my personality style does not let me look at them if they are not arranged in color order. The backstory on these pens are these were pens that I was allowed to order in my last job, so I ended up getting a lot of them in that position. And then, as pens tend to do if you work in an office job, they would find their way into other people's desks. So I started doing this kind of obnoxious thing where I would just write J or label my pens with my name on them so that they wouldn't disappear. So the ones that have J on it are actually still remnants of that position, which was a little while ago. So I used to use these pens exclusively, and I'm going to go ahead and put in the video of me using them now. So the pros and cons of the Pilot G2 pens. I really like the line thickness of these pens, especially the 0.7. That's the one that I use primarily. I like that I was able to order it from office catalogs, and in most of the offices that I've worked in, these were an option in my order forms or the things that we were allowed to order in terms of office supplies. I also like that they come in a variety of colors, so I did a lot of color coding at this point in my life, and I would use this turquoise, this pink, and this purple, along with the red, the blue, and the green. I also used a lot of, actually I used green so much that I don't even have any left over because most of those I used it through. Additionally, it's really easy to get the refills for these guys. So those are some of the pros. There are very few cons. I really prefer clicky pens rather than pens that have a cap on them because I tend to lose caps. So I really like that it retracts in. I also really like the clip. It's really long and deep, and I can clip it onto books. I could clip it onto loops or onto pans or any other place where you can think of clipping a pen. So I really enjoyed these a lot. And if I hadn't found the next type of pen, I probably would have continued to use this throughout my professional career. After I was using the Pilot G2's 0.7s for a long time at work. And I remember how much I loved using fountain pens when I was in high school. But I had a refillable fountain pen in kind of a navy blue or a blue-black ink that I really loved when I was in high school. And one day I went into a paper store, it might have been a Paper Source or something like that, and I saw that they had these, which were disposable fountain pens. One of the things that I struggled with in high school with my fountain pens were that the refills, the cartridges were so small and they were really expensive, so I couldn't keep up with it all the time, and I would use it just to basically write notes to people or something like that, like a special occasion. But then I found these. So these are the Varsity Everyday Fountain Pens, and they're also by Pilot. They come in this pack, or they also are sold individually. I found them on Amazon as well. So these come in a variety of different colors. There's the black, the red, the kind of light blue, the darker blue, pink, purple, and green. And I love the way that these write, and these actually are the reasons why I continue to go back to or toy with the idea of the Inkwell press planners, and I also really like just their papers and their notebooks. I have their sewn journal because I really enjoy using the fountain pen. It's really my favorite for writing, for ease of writing, for how my handwriting looks with them. I really do love these guys. And primarily I stopped using them. Oh, I will say another bonus of this, and you can tell that I've spent most of my adult life in office work, is that when people ask me to borrow a pen and I give them this pen, they generally have a little bit of a hard time writing with fountain pens, and they're like, can you just give me a regular pen? Or they ask someone else to borrow a pen. And if you're a little bit of a pen snob like I am, you don't want to lose any of your pens, especially when they come in a pack where there's a variety of colors. People are caught off guard a little bit for the fountain pen, and this ended up being the one that I used in the office after I went through my Pilot G2 phase, and people didn't necessarily like writing with it and would always give it right back to me, and no one else had pens like this. So it's part of the reason why I liked it. It was just an added bonus that I had these pens. I love them. I still use them pretty regularly for anything not planning related. So if I write thank you notes, or I have to sign some contracts or anything like that, I definitely have my Varsity fountain pens. I was still using the fountain pen when I started planning, and when I entered the planner community, or what is commonly known as the planner community right now, because I have had a paper planner pretty much since junior high, but when I started entering kind of like the pretty planner community, that is when I started with an Erin Condren, and I moved to these pens over here. So I'm gonna bring back these two guys, which were in my, they're just housed in another jar. Okay, so I want to separate these quickly. Sometimes a stray pen gets in here. All right, these are the Papermate Flair pens, and I do not have all the colors that I used to have. I used to have, I think I got the 14 pack, and these guys worked pretty well for matching the Erin Condren colors. So I got these because I wanted to write in the same monthly colors that came in the Erin Condren. What I found with these are, not only did they show through, they had some ghosting and even some bleed through at times in the Erin Condren, and this was the Erin Condren maybe, that was the maybe 2014 or 2015 Erin Condren. It was a few years back, and I'm not sure if it bleeds through now. But at the very least, I remember for sure I had some ghosting, and this was before I used stickers in my Erin Condren, so that was bugging me a lot. So there was a few things that came up because of that. Because I was using them to plan, I was planning really much, very much on the day of, or pretty much on the day of, because I was really scared of writing something in the Erin Condren that I had to cross off or white out or something like that. And so it dissuaded me from using these pens. The Sharpies I got because as I was in the Erin Condren and I started to move toward decorating, that is when I started using washi tape, and I thought that I could write with the Sharpie pens on washi, and I don't think that I can actually. I use my ultra fine Sharpies, the regular markers, to write on washi these days, but I remember buying these. I bought, I think it was these four and maybe the green one as well. at Target. It was probably about 2 Christmases ago. They had them in the little Christmas section for like $1 each or something like that. And after I tried to use one on the washi tape and it didn't work, I just moved right on, and there are some of these that I haven't even used, quite frankly. And I keep them around. I'm not actually sure why I keep them around. After this video, they might find a new home somewhere else, or I might bring them into work. That's kind of where I bring pens when I stop caring about whether or not I have them anymore. These two are fairly recent. I bought a lot of gold pens when I was doing my wedding invitations. I addressed everything. They were all black envelopes, and I addressed everything in gold pens. So I have lots of gold pens and gold markers, and that's when I got this guy. I really like, they're both Uni-Ball. This is the Uni-Ball Signo, and this is that's the white one, and the gold one is the Uni-Ball Gel Impact. So I really enjoyed how the gold wrote, and I also really enjoyed how the white wrote in the thank you notes that I sent out. I was using the white to do our return address. So I really love those, and I kept those. I don't really use them regularly. They're more like part of my specialty pen collection that I just bring out if I need every now and then. But the Sharpies and the Papermate Flairs are probably on their way out. Speaking of some of the shortcomings of the Papermate Flair, they do dry out. It's not like they dry out very, very quickly, but most of my pens I keep around for a long time. I don't always use them very frequently, but I expect that they're gonna hang out for a little while and you know, be usable and not dry out. But the Papermate Flairs, I feel like I don't really know when they're going to dry out, and they don't give you too much of a warning when that's going to happen. So next up is this little jar, and it holds some of my newer pens and some of my older pens. So I'm going to split them up here and over here. So these, I'm sure you'll recognize, are the Staedtler Pens. It's the 24 pack from Target, and I bought these pens again as I kind of move forward in my planning time. I also just gathered up more supplies that were of interest of me, or that were of interest to me, or that I could potentially use. So I got the Staedtler Pens. I really didn't get too much use out of them. I think partially it is the caps that I dislike, and also there's such a variety of colors that I can't pick out 2 or 3 to have with me all the time. I'm just unable to decide, do I want one blue versus the other blue? I mean, with greens it might be a little bit easier. With pinks, same situation. There's 2 or 3 purples. So I was just having like option overload, I think, with these. I love them. I still use them, just not every day, not in my journal. They kind of sit in their jar, and then when there's a situation where I'm doing like a spread in my bullet journal, or I'm doing something with hard lines that I know I can't really mess up, that's when I reach for my Staedtler pens. I love them. I love the shape of them. They don't roll off. I dislike the caps on them. I wish there was like a clicky version of it, a retractable version of them. That would be ideal. But they are beautiful. I do like them very much. I live in fear that I will lose one and that I will have to figure out how to buy just one. That hasn't happened to me yet, and I'm pretty sure with Amazon at this point you can probably get any pen from a collection that you are missing. But those are the Staedtler Pens. Like I said, I do enjoy using them, and I haven't had any kind of issues with them as of yet. This next group of pens, some of them have been in my collection for a really long time, like this white one that is almost out of ink. You probably won't be able to see that on the camera, but I've had these since high school, which is probably like over a decade ago at this point. And I also have just repurchased them continuously. I used to have lots and lots of these jelly roll pens. They're jelly roll, this one's a fine one, this one's a medium. I think the white is a 0.8, and this gold, this metallic, It doesn't say what it is. But this gold one was a repurchase. I've had a gold and a silver and a white pretty much for the past decade. And the gold was part of my massive gold pen haul that I did for my wedding. I still have some gold pens hanging around. And then the pink, I'm pretty sure I just picked up randomly one day. When I do see them, if I'm out and about, for some reason, especially when I'm on vacation or visiting family, I just feel like, oh, I don't have too many pens with me. I could just pick up a jelly roll. I don't know, we all have our little quirks. For me, it's paper and pens and notebooks. And I feel like my excuse is that there's worse addictions to have. In this jar where I keep my Papermate ink joys, I also keep all of my doubles for friction pens and all of my friction pen refills in there. But these are the Papermate ink joys. They came in a big pack. I believe it was maybe 12 or so. They have a big range of colors. I have some repeats. Most of my pen repeats will be pink just because those are the pens that I tend to gravitate toward anyway, at least in my personal life or outside of the professional world. So I really wanted to love these. My husband saw them in the store and he called me up and was like, hey, they have like all those Inkjoy pens that you were looking at online. So my husband's a complete enabler and he is the reason why I'm gonna end up showing you guys all the erasable pens, which at the end of the day is what I use, what I carry with me every day, and what I'm completely obsessed with. But the Inkjoys are super vibrant, as you can see, and they come in a wide range of colors. They meet almost all of my requirements. They're retractable. They have a good sturdy clip on them, and they come in a wide range of colors. So I could have some homogeny in the actual line thickness, and it's kind of the same ink, the same quality and consistency and things like that, but I have a range of different colors. So that is part of what I love from the Inkjoys. What I dislike about the Inkjoys is that, similar to my Pentel RSVPs, I find that the ink cartridges explode in them and then they make a big mess. So as I'm looking, even in the black one, I can see that there's ink inside of the plastic casing, so I know that there's been some ink discharge, and I see it right there on the point right there. So there has been an explosion right here for the black one, and that's probably why I don't have the full collection anymore. That irks me when I have a bunch of pens but I don't have the full collection, and it also really bothers me when there is ink everywhere. So I see it right here with the brown one. First off, awesome that they have a brown pen, but not if there's going to be brown ink everywhere. The blue one has also had some sort of accident on the inside. So the good thing is that these come in a variety of colors and they're rather inexpensive and they meet all of my other criteria, but I'm not willing to give up my entire like briefcase, backpack, or pen or pants or purse for it. So now we are finally coming to the pens, which I am currently using pretty frequently. So these jars live on my desk as opposed to in like my little pen cubby. I'm planning on doing an office tour here soon over the next week or two, and you'll see that these are the ones that kind of sit on my desk. This pen I have very little use for, but it just looks really pretty and it doesn't match with any of my other pens. I try to keep at least the height matched in all of my jars. So that one is here. These guys are the Papermate Inkjoy Gel Pens 0.7, and I've posted these on my Instagram before, but they write beautifully. They're nice and smooth. They haven't popped on me, so the ink hasn't gone everywhere. And you'll hear me say this a dozen times, I'm sure, in this video. They're retractable and they have a nice clip. So, oh, and they come in a variety of colors. So it meets all of my criteria. I'm always counting these to make sure that I haven't lost one, because if I'm gonna pull out a pen to take with me to the supermarket or somewhere else, I always have my friction pens with me, which we're gonna talk about next. But if I want to take just another pen to make sure I'm going to have to make a permanent mark on something like that, in case, I don't know, there's an accident, I have to write someone's license plate, and I don't want to risk it being in the heat of my car or something like that. I don't know, I have some pseudo-irrational thoughts, but I try to grab a permanent pen with me. I usually grab one of these guys, and then I have to make sure that it comes back into the jar so that I make sure that I have my full set. You'll see that I have 2 purples because I thought I left a purple somewhere once, and then I immediately ordered a purple on Amazon, and then I found it, so it really wasn't that lost. It really wasn't lost. So I love these pens. This also happens to be the pen my husband loves, so he only writes in black, but he likes this in black, and that's the one that he uses, so we have some extra ones hanging around the house as well. And as long as I have my one here, I try to stay away from his pens. Okay, so here comes the loves of my life. So I was complaining one day how I didn't want to have to erase things or cross things out in my Erin Condren. So this was probably like a year and a half ago now at this point. And my husband was like randomly searching for something on Amazon as I was talking to him. And then he's like, these pens are erasable and they come in a lot of colors and they're retractable. You must have them. So he bought me, this was the original set that he bought me. These are the 0.5 friction. They're pilot friction with a X, so it's Frixon. I get a lot of questions on my videos or on Instagram about what pens I use, and I am generally using friction pens. So this pack comes in 10 colors. This pack comes in 10 colors. It has the black, the blue black, 2 other blues, a purple, 2 greens, a red, orange, and a pink. There are other colors, and I'm not sure if they all come in the 0.5. I'm going to go through my 0.38 next, but I love these pens. As you can imagine, and if you've heard my whole story of all the pens, at this point you understand that I need that color variety. I love the retractable pens. These have never given me any issues with the ink leaking. They are retractable and they have this super nice clip as well. So these are actually the perfect pens for me. I'm able to get refills on them through Amazon, so I get to keep the original set that he bought me, and it makes me a little bit nostalgic. Also, there are these friction multi-pens. This one is for 3 types of ink, and this one is for 4. The thing that I don't like about these is that you can't change the color of the little lever system here. So you have fixed colors. Here it's red, blue, and black, and here it's black, blue, green, and red. But if you have some sort of system for remembering it, that I do, so for example, I have pink, green, blue, and black, so it's not that far off from here. And here it's a little bit more flexible because I am using 2 inks that are the same color, but a darker one and a lighter one, and then a black, and I use that for writing things down in my Hobonichi, which is the system I'm going to start in the beginning of the year in January. So I'm going to have to figure out how I'm going to distinguish the darker or the lighter of the same color in this one. But again, we have the retractableness, and these have extra nice clips with a little spring in them. And they come in a variety of colors, so I really like these guys as well. The cool thing about these is that even though the white one or the 4 color pens are advertised as the 0.5 frictions and the 3 color ones are advertised as the .38. The refills on these two are actually interchangeable. So I have .38s in both of these, or in cartridges in both of these, because the width of the barrel for the refills are the same. So I wanted to get 4 colors, but I also prefer the .38 to write in my Hobonichi specifically, which is why both of these are loaded up with .38 frictions. So while we're on the friction bandwagon, I'll move these guys over to put back in my little Mochi Things pen holder, and I'm gonna pull out this stack of pens. Now I just put them in the jar for this video, but actually I keep them in this little, is like a 99-cent pen holder from Office Max. It feels so nice and soft and lovely. It's like a silicone pen holder, and I loved it so much that I went back to Office Max here in Hawaii to try to get another one, and they were all sold out. So I'm sure other people loved it as well. It's really flexible. I keep both these .38 frictions in there and my .05 frictions. So I carry all of my frictions in this guy. These are the .38 frictions. These are the ones that I have with me most often. I keep one of these in the pen loop of my bullet journal. It fits perfectly in there. This I love because it is just the right thickness. The line thickness is perfect and just right. The wide variety of colors that it comes in, and I just love the way that they write. The smoothness, there's very little skipping, they're really easy to erase. I have like 5 different pinks or something like that, and a yellow pen, which I always like as well. I just really love these pens. I'm obsessed with them. There are 20 different colors. I carry all 20 with me to and from work usually. I have like 1 or 2 colors that I load into my multi-pen over here, but in general this is the original set that I bought, and I just buy refills for them, and the refills are pretty easy to get on Amazon. The hard thing is identifying the colors, because they do have like 3 greens, for example, and knowing what the names of the colors are. So I'm going to make sure, as I've been doing with all of them, that I write the colors when I do the sample with them. Finally, these are the latest collection, or the latest addition to my pen collection. They are GANSSIA brand colored gel pens. And my husband found these, I'm pretty sure, as he was randomly surfing Amazon, because he's always sending me just like random little gifts that are super awesome. Generally, I love them, and there are things that I didn't even know were out there. So right away, as you can probably tell, there's going to be an issue with them for me, because I don't want to carry around a pen cap. But these colors are beautiful. They're really different than the friction pens. They write even a little bit smoother and easier than the friction pens. They erase comparably. So far, I'm loving them. The issue that I have is just the pen caps. But besides that, if I keep these at home and don't travel around with them, I think that they'll be perfect. I also like when pens come with their own little case, because then I can put them there in color order, and my type awesome personality is going to be okay with them. So these are the newest edition. They are, I think that they're 0.5. Oh, they're 0.5. I really enjoy writing with them. I really enjoy the colors. They're very unique, and they are the newest edition, so hopefully I will get lots of use out of them. So it's kind of counterintuitive. This is my Swarovski pen, and you'll see another pattern here. This was a gift from my husband as well. He knows me well enough, and he gets me like the cutest, most adorable things. This is a Swarovski Crystal Pen. It is beautiful. I'm gonna bring it up a little bit to try to show it to you. I love it. And this is the one that I usually carry with me at work. So at work, I usually have my 0.5 black frictions, and and I have a full pack of these guys, so this is just the typical thing that I use during my work day. And then I also have this one because, as I said before, I try to carry around a friction pen, an erasable one, and a permanent one in case I needed to sign any kind of contract or document that I want to make sure that doesn't get erased in some way. Because the friction pens erase by just the heat, the friction of the motion between the paper and the eraser nib over here. And if you expose something that has been written with a friction pen to extreme heat, it can also disappear. So if I'm doing something and I want to absolutely make sure that it's going to be permanent, I want to make sure I have a permanent pen with me at all times. And this is the one that I have at work. And usually when I hand this pen to someone at work who has asked me to borrow a pen, they're like, ooh, this pen is really nice. And they have like that moment of acknowledgement that they should probably give this pen back to me, and no one has walked off with this pen yet. It's been like a year at this point. So hopefully no one will take this pen from me and they will know to give it right back to me. I love this pen very, very much. Kind of to the chagrin of my husband, because this was a pen that he invested a little bit of money in to get me. So it is a Mont Blanc pen, and one would think that this would be something that a pen lover like me would just be all over, right? So far he's gotten me all these awesome things that I really, really love. This pen, I'm sure, was super, super pricey. I didn't ask him exactly how much, but I do have like a general idea. The issue with this pen is, well, first, I do love royal blue. It's my absolute favorite color, and purple is really close to that, especially this type of purple. So I'll bring it up, especially this kind of purple. But with purples, I tend to prefer lilacs. Again, not a big deal if everything else would work out perfectly with this pen. So this pen is the pen I got on my wedding day. So most women would expect maybe some jewelry or some other cool thing, and I got the coolest thing to me, which was a Mont Blanc pen. Super awesome. It has an amethyst right there in the clip. It meets my requirements, right? It is a retractable pen. Ooh, it's a retractable pen. It's got a clip. This clip has extra bling on it. It is made out of maybe some sort of leather. It's got these crisscross shapes in the front and a little Mont Blanc symbol on top. So I do love the pen, but there is a serious issue with this pen. First off, it's quite heavy, so it's a little difficult to work with. I hold my pens really, really tight and really close to the bottom, and I also have really kind of bubbly handwriting. So when I start doing these big motions, the pen kind of has a mind of its own and it starts going out of control. Additionally, the thickness of this pen makes it so it doesn't fit into any of my pen holders that I have at work, and I don't just want to put a really nice and thoughtful gift like this into just a pen cup that I also have for my highlighters or my expo markers. It's really heavy, so if I clip it onto any of my clothes, it kind of like falls out that way if I put it like in a pocket or in a pant. And I just feel like it is a really nice gift that I'd like to display in some way, but I don't have a place to display it right now. So it pretty much lives in this little case, which is a little bit too big for me to put into a planner system or something like that. So that's about it for all of my pens in my pen collection. Thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to give it a thumbs up. And if you'd like to get more of my videos, hit that subscribe button so that you are alerted every time I post a new video. See you guys next time.